This might trigger some people, but there are aliens carved in this ancient pyramid. Look at its face. Does this look human to you? It looks like the predator with sharp teeth and pointed face. Is this an extraterrestrial? Is it possible that this is an animal? No, look at it. It is standing on two legs. And even more strange, it is probing the ear of a human being. Look carefully. Is it putting something into the ear of the human being against his will? Why is he pulling back from the ET as though he does not want to be probed? Believe it or not, today hundreds of people around the world claim they have experienced the exact same thing. They say they have been probed by extraterrestrials as though they were testing human bodies, just like how we study animal bodies for medical purposes. And we can see the same detail here. This human is seated on a table as though he is going to be examined by this extraterrestrial. Where is this carving found? This bizarre carving is found hidden in a corner of the Baphuon Pyramid in Cambodia. But is it really ancient? Yes, archaeologists say this temple is about 1,000 years old, even though it might have been built at a much earlier time. But let me show you another carving in the same pyramid that hints this could have been built at a much older time. What are these? Two humans are shown hunting animals. At first glance, these two animals look like wild boars, but look at their size. They are huge. If this guy is 6 feet tall, then these animals are 5 feet tall. But today, wild boars are half the height. They're only about 2.5 feet tall. These animals are double the size. See how the sculptor has shown a tree to help us understand the size of this species. Is it possible this is a prehistoric extinct species known as the entelodont, commonly known as the hell pig? But these hell pigs became extinct millions of years ago. How did ancient builders who lived 1,000 years ago carve these hell pigs, which became extinct millions of years ago? Is it possible that this pyramid was built at a much earlier time? But this carving gets more bizarre. Look at this guy. He seems to be much taller, a giant. But what is on the other end of the spear? That is not human. And I've not seen an animal that looks like this. And even if it is an animal, it is intelligent enough to use a spear. It is clearly holding the spear. It has a strange reptile-like face. The head looks like that of a lizard, right? It even has a tail, but it's also wearing clothes. Look at the waistline. Is this a being from another world? Did ancient sculptors see such giant pigs and reptile beings alongside humans? Or were these carvings made out of pure imagination? But this carving will blow your mind. There is a figure sitting in namaste position on a pedestal, and two guys are holding fans to make sure he does not sweat. What is so mind-boggling about this, right? No. Did you see this? There is a head flying in the air. Yes, this is a human head shown sideways with a crown and long ears, and there is no torso attached to it. But instead, is that an arrow attached to his neck? Has someone decapitated him using an arrow? What are these lines? Are there more arrows flying in the air? Is this a battlefield? How can you possibly make sense of this carving? But this story is about to get a lot stranger. What's happening in the carving just above this? You can see the saint sitting in deep meditation under a tree. And you can say, what's strange about a saint sitting and meditating, right? No, look at his lap. Is that the same head with the same arrow? It is almost completely eroded because of time. But if you enhance this, it is crystal clear that it is in fact the same head with the same arrow. Why would a head be decapitated from a battlefield and land on a saint's lap? What's going on here? And you can say, Praveen, you're always just asking questions. Where are the answers? And who knows what's going on in this 1,000-year-old carving in an ancient temple in Cambodia? I do. This event is mentioned in the ancient text of Mahabharata. The head belongs to the king of Pakistan. No, not today's king, an ancient king of Pakistan. His name is Jayatratha, and he was the king of Sindhu. This is modern-day Sindh region in Pakistan. And this king of Pakistan was destroyed by the Indian warrior Arjuna. Arjuna shoots an arrow, and this arrow takes Jayatratha's head out of his body. End of story, okay? No, this does not explain why his head is sitting on this man's lap, right? You see, the king of Pakistan was a very sharp man. He had managed to get a very powerful boon from Lord Shiva. What was that boon? Anyone who makes his head fall on the ground would explode into 1,000 pieces. So, if Arjuna had simply taken off this king's head with an arrow, and if the head touches the ground, Arjuna would explode. Arjuna knew about this superpower, so he made sure the head did not touch the ground and made it land on this man's lap. And who was this man meditating under the tree? The king's own father. Yes, Arjuna calculated the destination and made sure Jayatratha's head was not only taken out, but he also shot multiple arrows. This is why you see multiple arrows in the carving. The arrows were launched to make sure the head did not touch the ground and landed on the victim's father's lap. What happened next? The father was startled and he stood up, making the head touch the ground. And boom, Arjuna used the son's superpower against his own father, making him explode into 1,000 pieces. This is the beauty of ancient carvings. Without this ancient temple, I would never have had the chance to tell you this story. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I say an ancient carving is worth 1,000 pictures. But don't ask me what this animal is. And don't ask me why this animal is walking at 90 degrees on a tree trunk. I will explain this when I see you in Cambodia. The details carved in the Baphuon Pyramid are quite amazing. I can't even begin to explain this. What were ancient builders smoking? Look at these two lions. They look very fierce. But what are they doing with their hands? Are they blowing smoke? The smoke goes up in curves. But is there a hidden message in it? These kind of carvings are found on top of the pyramid. You can see the smoke going up. But if you look carefully, you might be able to see a bird hidden in the smoke. Ancient builders usually hide secret symbols and cryptic codes in their creations. They appear to show one thing, but they mean something else, something deeper. Here again, you can see more lion-like animals blowing smoke. But if you look hard, you may be able to decode what is going on. Is this just smoke or a pattern? Do you see anything strange? The animals carved in the Baphuon temple are very strange. They are often shown with humans, but sometimes things get stranger. There is a woman sitting under a tree, and there are 3 helpers sitting next to her. But look at the middle helper. Is that a deer? I mean, it has a human body and is sitting with other humans. But why does it have the head of a deer? Here's another carving. Again, looks like 3 helpers are in a seated position. But look at the last one. What is that? Is that a rat? Look below. It even has a tail. But it gets more weird. Who are these 3 figures talking to? Is that a bird? It has a sharp beak and has 2 wings instead of arms, but look at its tail. It looks more like a cow's tail. Birds don't have tails like that. Even if they did, what kind of a meeting happened between rats, humans, and birds during ancient times? What's the meaning of this carving? But what would mainstream experts say to this question? There is no meaning to these carvings. Ancient builders were superstitious with irrational beliefs. That's why these carvings show illogical details. Like this one. Are these 2 guys offering food to a tree? What are they doing? Why would they be holding plates full of food and offer them to the tree? Were ancient humans superstitious enough to offer food to trees? Look at the next carving right below. You see what they're doing now? This man is holding a stick and pushing a bird from the tree to the ground. But look carefully, the bird in the tree is shown upside down, meaning it has fainted. How did the bird pass out? Because there was something in the food placed by these 2 guys. These 2 guys weren't superstitious and were offering food to the tree. They had mixed something with bird food and had placed them on tree branches. The birds passed out after eating that laced food. Look at this guy. He is the collector. He is holding 3 birds by their legs. They've already passed out. Believe it or not, this technique is still used by some tribes in remote India. They mix something in bird food and leave them on tree branches. Birds eat that food and pass out. They just fall from trees like leaves. The men then just collect the birds and either eat them or sell them for meat. I've seen this personally, but it is great to see this scene carved in an ancient temple in Cambodia, 2,000 miles away from India. But mainstream experts and scientism followers rush to dismiss all these carvings as superstitious rituals because they don't look at the entire picture. Sometimes they even deliberately fudge the information to make the ancient humans look primitive. But it looks like these ancient hunters were more advanced than us. Why do I say this? Look at this. There is a giant squirrel in action climbing up the tree. What is the chipmunk doing? It is a retriever. Yes, it was trained to retrieve the birds stuck in high branches. And what about these two giant birds? The captured birds are very small in size, and the size of these two birds are very large. Perhaps they were eagles trained by these two hunters to retrieve the birds stuck in trees. And you might wonder, Praveen, on one hand, you're showing carvings of extraterrestrials and advanced technology. And on the other hand, you're showing somewhat basic human activities like hunting birds. Pick a side. How did ancient builders really live? But this is a false dichotomy. Think about today. We have people going to space using rockets. If you have enough money, you can go to space. But we also have 2.2 billion people on Earth who don't have safely managed drinking water. Yes, 1 out of 4 humans don't have access to safe drinking water. This is why you see skyscrapers and starving people side by side. And this inequality also existed during ancient times. Think about it. Why would it be any different? So yes, you will see advanced technology and primitive lifestyle side by side in ancient carvings too. So there is no conflict in understanding them shoulder to shoulder. Now, I hope people get interested in the Baphuon Pyramid and focus on its carvings because there are lots of carvings related to healing and herbal remedies. Here, you can see this thin figure with a beard. He is the patient. And next to him, you can see this guy who's clean shaven. He is the ancient doctor who's giving him some medicines. Can you tell me what's going on here? You can see the same doctor giving the same patient a massage. Both these treatments are mentioned in the ancient Hindu healing system known as Ayurveda. Patients will be given herbs and massages side by side for healing. Ancient Cambodians had built hundreds of hospitals all over the country. Today we think of the Baphuon Pyramid and the Inequality site as temples or places of worship, but they were originally built as healing centers to cure people. Here you can see 2 shamans mixing herbs in a giant pot. You can see an advanced churning rod. It seems to have 2 cylinders, and both these cylinders are tied together. One of them is churning it with a rope, and the other sitter is supervising the process. The next carving is even more interesting. Is this guy vomiting, throwing up the contents? His mouth is wide open. In all the carvings I've shown you today, nobody's mouth is open except him because he is vomiting. A helper is holding the patient's body still while he's throwing up to make him feel better. And this doctor on the left is quietly giving him more remedies to help him. The Baphuon Pyramid not only shows healing techniques for the physical body, it also shows healing techniques for your mind and soul. Here you can see two humans sitting under a tree and meditating, cleansing their mind and soul. You see, this Cambodian pyramid is hiding a big secret. It has thousands and thousands of carvings all over the walls. Even when you climb the stairs, these are modern wooden steps. But if you look at the original ancient steps, you see that? Beautiful patterns intricately carved all over the steps of the pyramid. These are the modern handrails, but look at the original ancient handrails made of rock. A lot of beautiful carvings. Ancient builders wanted you to be mesmerized even while you were climbing the stairs. In fact, the entire pyramid is covered with carvings. We are at the top of the pyramid now, and you see that? Is that a baby snake coming out of an egg? Notice how archaeologists have renovated the details. They have deliberately changed the color to show us these are redone recently. You can see a series of these carvings, and underneath, what is that? Scarabs? Scarabs are depicted in Egyptian pyramids, but why are they carved here? Is there a connection between Egyptian pyramids and this Cambodian pyramid? And even the space between Naga and scarabs, they haven't left it alone. They've carved some patterns in between too. The entire Baphuon Pyramid is full of carvings. So, what do you think? Is this an extraterrestrial probing a human? If not, what is this and what is it doing to this human? Were there giant hell pigs coexisting with ancient builders? When did India and Pakistan start fighting? How long will this conflict continue? Why do we see these smoking lions? Did you see this detail in this carving? Do you believe in ancient healing practices? Are you going to visit the Baphuon Pyramid in Cambodia? Don't miss it because it is an extraordinary ancient pyramid. I am PraveenMohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.